So today I thought I'd try and help you understand why I do what I do, why I want to help women who are coming out of a relationship and trying to restart. I was you quite some years ago now, but I was you. You know what it's like. You know there's some conflict coming up. You know maybe you're going to have an argument or something's just not quite right. And you're waiting for it. For me, it was the Thursday I went to my bank and found that there was no money there. And I still had to pay my rent, go and get food, pay my bills. And I wasn't working. I had 3 children at home, one that was often sick and often in hospital. So I relied on having that money there to pay the bills. My ex was away, he drove trucks. And when he came back on the Friday afternoon, I knew there was going to be an argument, except he's driven up to the front stairs with a truck and walks in without saying a word and starts packing things in. I was confused. What's going on? Needed to ask, what's happening? And all I got was, I'm leaving. And I've gone, well, where to? Obviously, I was stupid. Couldn't understand what was happening. And he said, I'm just going. I've had enough. I need space. What a terrible statement. I need space. So my phone rings. It's my neighbour saying, are you okay? And of course, all I said was, no. And she said, send the kids over. So I sent the kids across the road to the neighbour while I tried to sort out what was happening in my life. No explanation, nothing. Suddenly he's gone. At that point, I didn't know where to start, didn't know where to go, didn't know what to do. I admittedly had help from someone who said you need to get up to Social Security, which it was at that point, and you need to get some money. I have to admit that at that point in my life, they were actually quite helpful. I didn't know the questions to ask. I knew a friend who did, and she literally walked me through the whole process. What forms to fill out, what to say, what to do, who to see. And one of the first things was actually get a bank account. We'd had a joint bank account, so all the money went in there. We shared it, and suddenly I had no bank account. So I was distraught. I was not coping with anything at all, and I'm having to open a bank account, not even understanding what I needed to do that at that point. Finally got through that, opened the bank account. I got through doing the whole change my rent into my name. I was actually in one of the old Housing Commission houses years ago. And with this house here I was trying to figure out what to do. Went and talked to them, didn't realise that there was some help within the system that I could use. Again, I didn't know what I didn't know. I also had an electricity bill on my fridge. I had no food. Well, I probably had stockpiles of things, but nothing fresh and nothing that I could feed the kids. So finding where to get that help had never been something that I would ever think I'd have to do. I found an agency that helped me with food for the week, at least so that we could get through. And that agency also said, what other issues have you got? And I told them, I've got an electricity bill, I don't know how to pay it. And they said, look, it's okay, let us help you. I did this for about, that week, it was just a blur, couldn't figure it out. But in my whole situation, I hadn't been in this state before. My two girls were at school. My son wasn't. He was just 18 months old. So I used to walk my kids to school, come home, get inside the front door, close the door, slide down that door, sit on the floor and just cry. And it might have been for hours. I wouldn't have known how long. And I probably did that for about 2 months until my 2-year-old, well, 18-month-old, had come up to me one morning and did the same thing. I still was in no fit state to do anything. And the thinking about this as a mental health issue was not what was done in those days. It wasn't something that I even thought about myself. I was just in a really bad place. And this particular day, I've sat down on the floor and my baby's come up to me and he says, "No more cry, mummy, no more cry." And of course, what do? I burst into tears because I suddenly realised how I was damaging my baby. With that, I stopped. I got angry. I started to pick myself up again. I started to get stronger. Doesn't mean I was as strong as I once was, but I was stronger than I had been for those couple of months. I worked towards getting things together again, figuring out what it was that I needed to do to move forward, getting myself out of the situation I was in and into a better place. So when I come to do these videos and talk to you, I know exactly how it feels like. I know how damaged you feel, how long it takes you to pull things together, what sort of things you don't think of because you just don't know. So what I'd like to do probably over the next little while is let you know how I got there, how I did it, what I had to look at, what things really confounded me, and where I actually got to eventually. Sorry, this has been a little bit tough today. But if you're in that emotional state and you're feeling like that, and if you haven't got somebody else that you can just sit and talk to and let them listen, find someone. It might be your doctor, it may be somebody else. And often family isn't the place to go. They're not always the biggest help for you. So I'm sure we'll talk again. Try and have a great day.